On the streets, in the homes, and behind the wheels of this country, there's a cost to bear of a faraway conflict.
Great Yarmouth, is it, ma'am?
Higher energy bills, higher prices at the pump, higher pressure on us all, especially those who drive for a living.
In the last couple of months, it seems to have crept up. In the last week, it seems to have raced up. The costs of going to work have never been anywhere near as high, and the energy bills are frightening. You're sort of running from one to the other and trying to keep the cost down on all of them, and struggling.
It's caused by high costs of oil and gas processed in refineries like this. Crucially, the UK buys very little from Russia, but Europe buys a lot. It means any disruption pushes prices right up, prices across the whole market. And it affects more than just the cost of heating our homes. It's also biting here.
The tanks, which we're now in front of here, hold about 7,500 tonnes each.
Where fertiliser arrives, is turned around and sold on. Mammoth tanks of the stuff, made using gas, destined for the fields of our farmers. A huge part to play in the price of our food.
Prices for nitrogen fertilisers have gone up by 300 or 400% in the last year, and that was without the war. Because we're at the start of the food chain, what we pay, passed on to farmers and in turn to consumers, is going to hit everybody in the pocket. It means that we're on the path to the £3 loaf of bread, the £7 pint.
This conflict has underlined a difficult reality. You don't need to be a buyer of Russian gas to be highly vulnerable to its impact on the price, and the consequences are vast. An already pressing question is now urgent. How do we reduce our reliance on that gas and reduce it quickly? So what is the answer? Well, some say it lies underground here, not moving away from gas, but extracting our own, fracking for it, in the north of England. But for now it's banned for safety reasons. This former site lies still and unused. A huge failure, says the boss, in energy policy and planning.
Even if you were fracking for British gas, that wouldn't affect the price, would it? Because you'd still sell it at market price.
It may well affect the price. We've got to be able to do it more cheaply than taking shale gas from the United States, putting it on a boat, sailing it across the Atlantic. You know, people are saying, well, that won't make a difference because it doesn't affect prices tomorrow. Well, the reason we're in this mess is because we haven't thought about this, 10 years ago.
The only real shield is alternative sources, nuclear, solar or wind. But all are still too fledgling to cover demand. Energy security is not just about supply, it's about supply that's affordable. If Russia turned off the taps, we'd still be able to turn on the lights. But at what cost and for how long? Helen Ann Smith, Sky News in Great Yarmouth.